everyone. Today we shall look into a challenge where we have some sales data. Okay, so we have some customer names, we have some certain dates, and some sales data we have. So today we shall understand, how to create a data frame, and we shall answer few questions related to it. So here we have a data frame which is called as sales data, and you can create a kind of list of tuples. So where you can create some sample data like this. So if we start with further creation of data frame, we can try to write something like this. Suppose we want to create a data frame, let us call it as sales underscore df or sales underscore df. So here we shall write something called spark dot create data frame. Okay, and I'll open the parenthesis. First we have to provide the data, right? You can see the first thing what we need to provide is data. So you can try to write data as sales. So here on the top we have this sales data, right? I can enter comma, and here I need to provide some columns. So here we are getting some normal prompt of that particular columns. So but again we can write some ID column, right? Or you can take that particular sale ID, right? Comma, we can take that particular customer name, right? Customer name. We can enter some order date, and we can enter some amount column, right? We can enter some amount column. So these are respective columns where we can create this data frame. So if you would like to see this data frame, you can write simply sales underscore df dot show. Once you execute this, here you are able to see this particular data frame where we have certain sales ID, customer name, order date, and amount column. Now, let us bring few things which are defaultly required for solving the problems. So for example, I'll bring from Pyspark.sql, we shall import functions, and let us call it as f. Okay. Next, let us bring window function, right? Where we require that window function. I'll write Pyspark.sql.window, right? Import window function. Okay. So I'll execute these two things so that it will be useful for further, solving the problems. Okay. So first we need to find out total sales per employee. So if at all we want total sales per employee, we have to group by the customer name, right? So what I shall do here, total sales per employee is equal to, okay. So what I shall do, I shall write sales underscore df. I need to group by, right? So I can write dot group by, and group by what? Customer name. You can click on that, you'll be able to see that customer name is represented like this. You can write dot agg, which is aggregation, right? Since I have imported the function as f, I can write f dot sum, and you can enter that amount column, right? So what are we trying to do? We are trying to do the sum of amount, and we are trying to do the group by the customer name. And if we need to give that alias name for this amount column, what we can do? We can write dot alias, and within double quotes we can mention it as total underscore sales, right? So like this we can mention the column name. If we need to show this particular data frame, we can show this total sales per employee dot show. So here you can see that for these three customers, you're able to see this particular aggregated total sales, and we have renamed this column as total sales, as we have seen here, right? What did we do? We simply done the group by, and we have done the aggregation, and just we have renamed it as total sales, right? These are the three things which we have done. Okay, I hope this first question is answered. Let us move ahead and understand how to solve this ranking problem, right? How to rank the employees by total sales. Now, if you understand, this is the same you could say data frame, which you can use it, and further we can try to use some window function to rank it. So what I'll do, I can take the same, data frame, or even you can take the same data frame, right? Using this data frame, we shall do something, called as we shall do something called as like window function. By applying window function, we can extract ranking. So what we can do, I can write total sales per employee this data frame, right? We can use this, and we can write with column dot with column. Okay, so I'll open the parenthesis. Here I can give some, rank column. Okay, we can simply give a rank column. I'll write comma. Using function, we can bring a rank function, right? Here I'll write dot over. So I'm writing this f dot rank in over clause. What I can do, I can bring further window related, information. Like for example, I can write window dot where I can try to order by. Order by what? Order by, we can use this particular total sales in descending order. And what is the total sales actually? This particular total sales data frame which you have, right? So you can try to take this particular thing, or else total sales we have the respective column, right? So here what we can do, order by total sales in descending order. So we can try to write f dot. We can use this DESC function, descending order function, and we can try to write the total sales. And if you see this, we are able to close all the parentheses appropriately. And then at the end, if you want to show, you can write dot show. So what does this do? It will try to rank it. So you can see this is your column name, and you are applying the rank function. This is your over clause where you are trying to order by based upon the total sales in descending order, right? And if you just execute it, you see what happens. This is your, customer name, total sales, and this is in the descending order ranking, right? I hope it is understandable. This is how you can apply this window function quite easily by using that particular functions. Now let us understand how to calculate highest sale per employee. The highest sales is nothing but the maximum amount of sale which is done by the each customer, right? For example, this is our, sales df is our data frame, right? So we can try to use that sales df. I'll write sales underscore df dot. We can write group by what? Customer name. So once group by the customer name, you can aggregate, and you can try to extract the maximum amount of the sale which has happened. F dot max, and here you can write amount, right? And this is where you can calculate the maximum amount, column value, right? Once you find out the maximum amount column, you can rename it using this alias, right? Alias, let us call it as maximum sales, right? And at the end, what you can do for showing the value, you can use show, right? You can see here, these are the, three customers, and these are their maximum sales which is being done, right? Like this, you'll be able to write, the aggregation easily by simply doing the group by. You can aggregate it and you can give that alias's name. Okay, suppose you want to do the cumulative sales per employee. What you can do is you can use the window function. Okay, for example, I'll create a variable. Suppose let us call it as window sales. Okay, so what I can do, I can use that window function dot. I'll use this something called partition by. Partition, what it does, it will try to partition by based upon the column that we provide. For example, if I want to do the partition by customer name, I can write partition by customer name. Then I need to order by based upon the date, right? So that we can get the cumulative sales, based upon the customer, right? So you can write order by. You can simply write date column. What is the date column? You can write order underscore date. Okay. So if you like to write the formula, or you could say this particular Pyspark code in next line, you can write backslash and hit enter, and you can write simply dot. We have something called rows between. Just like in Excel, we have, sorry, just like in SQL, we have rows between, right? Here also we have something called rows between. Here, what we can do for cumulative sales, we can use this window dot unbounded preceding, okay, comma, window dot current row. Just like SQL, we have both the terminology similar, but what you would be doing is we'll be using window dot unbounded preceding and window dot current row. So this particular variable is completed. You can try to execute it, and here we shall try to write a new column. We'll write sales underscore df dot. I'll write with column to create a new column, and I'll call that particular column name as cumulative sales. Okay. So this column, what I'll do, I'll write simply f dot sum of amount column, where I'm trying to aggregate the amount column. I'll write dot over clause. Here I'll write something called window sales. This window sales is nothing but this particular, you could say, variable which you have created. So you are just trying to aggregate based upon that particular window sales. So once you execute it, you can just simply write dot show so that you can show that particular data frame. If you want to keep it in another variable and represent also, it is not a problem. You can do that. So you can see here, this is your table, and here it is your, cumulative sales based upon this particular customer, right? We did the partition by rate, so it does the particular cumulative sales for each customer. Okay. So if at all you want to do the cumulative sales for entire data, you can try to remove that particular partition by, then you'll be able to apply the necessary things, right? I hope it is understandable. This is how you can try to find out the cumulative sales in PySpark. Okay, let us answer one last question, which is like top two employees by total sales. So we can easily answer this. For example, we have this particular total sales per employee, right? So this is total sales per employee. This is our data frame which we have done earlier. So the same total sales, this I'll take this. And here what I'll do, I'll try to simply order by, right? I'll order by, I'll use the descending function. F dot DSA descending. I can take this particular total sales column, right? I can simply take total sales column. I want to keep it in descending order. If you simply write dot show, you see what happens. It will show the data in the descending order like this, like from highest to lowest. Now, for example, if you want to limit it only for the top two rows, what I can do before dot show, you can simply write limit and you can enter 2 so that it will limit only two rows. So if you execute this, you can see now there are only two rows. These are top two customers whose sales has been done, right? Okay, so you can just try to understand instead of customers, you can like it is written as employees. You can try to rename it, but you can understand how this is being done, right? So this is okay. This is how we are able to solve the data. Here, the data, I have, here in the particular headings, I have mentioned employees. You can rename it as customers so that you can, understand it easily, or anything you can consider, not a problem. So this is how, we are able to solve these problems. We shall connect in the next session. Thank you.